one of the things that makes me very happy for you is that I think it is a wonderful era for people who have what it takes, have ability, and have a work ethic. And you have all those things, and you're getting to do consistently this really cool work. And you have this project now, 0 Day, and I was looking at the cast.
Yeah,
this is on Netflix, and I'm like, you know, I've had so many people sit in the chair that you're in, and people talk a lot about body dysmorphia and how people can think they look a certain way and they don't, and they hate on themselves. And I consistently believe that there's something called career dysmorphia that hasn't been diagnosed yet, and I'd like to invent that and submit that to the New England Journal of Medicine. But I've had Al Pacino. Al Pacino sat in that chair and talked so much about the huge chunks of his career that didn't work out, and how they didn't want him for The Godfather, and how he couldn't get a job in movies in the late 80s and thought he was through, and how he thinks all the bad reviews people told him about. And I kept wanting to cut him off and saying, you're Al Pacino. You're the face of film for at least the 70s. You do iconic work in every decade. And you have it too. And I think it's just so funny to me that you would talk about, the fallow periods, and maybe I could do more if I got the word out on my chia seed recipe. And you're in 0 Day on Netflix. And your co-stars are Robert De Niro, Angela Bassett, Connie Britton, Jesse Plemons, and
Matthew Modine.
Yes.
Dan Stevens. It's Gabby Hoffman. It's the craziest cast of all time.
It's not the best work I see now is limited series, is our cinema.
And I like limited series too. I like watching them and doing them. It just feels like a very long movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen 0 Day. My dad died. I don't know if we mentioned that. So I haven't watched the screeners, which is bad because I do want to watch it.
How would that impact how you would? That's interesting. I'm trying to picture you watch yourself.
I hate it.
Yeah, I would imagine you would.
I don't always hate it, but I do want to watch this one because it's fairly dense and complex, and I want to be able to talk about it. It's topical, a little eerily topical.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people are in the mood to watch something that looks a lot like what's happening in reality, but is kind of this horror show version of it. Very smart people made this show. Very smart people were in this show. And I don't know, it's ensemble enough that I think I could watch it without hating the experience too much. But I think it's good. I mean, I had a great time doing it. It was surreal. You oftentimes the don't meet your heroes thing rings very, very true. It didn't on this.
That's nice.
De Niro's just a nice man. Just a kind, generous man. And everybody I always think, so Leslie Linka Glatter, who directed all the episodes, and she did Homeland, and she's the president of the DGA. She's a badass, incredible woman. She's done a bunch of movies. She's wonderful. And she directed every episode. And her vibe on set is she did one episode of Masters of Sex in the first season. And I wanted her to be our all the time director, but she was doing Homeland, so she didn't. She maintains this on-set energy that I don't even it's 6 months. It's 6 months to shoot this. Robert De Niro's never done a television show. I believe he didn't know what he was getting into in terms of the time, how much time it takes, and the hours, and he was in everything. But the first day of shooting on that, the crew is always in a good mood for everything on the first day. The last day, 6 months later, everybody was in as good of a mood. The vibes were so good. It was just a job that felt important, but at the same time, right size in terms of in your real life, you'd go to work and you'd go home, and these people didn't need to be your best friends, and you didn't need, it was just it felt very grown up, adult, but also really fun.
Right.
I don't know. It was great. It was a great experience. And we honestly, I can't really, during the strike, which was the last fun thing. Just taking it back to like the doldrums again. We were supposed to start this June of last year, maybe? I don't know what year it is. Yeah, we were supposed to do like June to December, and that was the strike. And we ended up doing January to the next June. So it was a full year, and everybody stayed on board. Everybody was just as excited, and we knew we got to.
Which is rare, because usually that's when people say,
yeah. And
I got this play I'm going to go do in the West
there was
End.
nothing.
Yeah.
It was, and even just having that moment of like, well, everybody else or so many other people were really stressed out about what they were going to do and work and all of this, like knowing that Netflix is probably not going to shelve the Robert De Niro series. Like it just felt like we had a safety net at a time when there wasn't a lot of safety nets. And again, like if it's just the experience, which for me is truly the only part I like of this whole job, like it was a great experience, and I think it's really good, and I think you should definitely watch it, America. So we can be
Which camera are you looking to?
America.
The American camera.
Okay, there we
Hey,
go.
America.
Okay, that's China.
Yeah. Let's just make it the #1 show on Netflix till the next thing comes out on Netflix, America.
The last observation that I will make is, and I'm certain I'm right about this, as dire as things are right now, and this is my need to be optimistic, but I also think this is accurate. Let's say you could go back in time to what you would consider like the classic period of making entertainment, and it's like the 1930s, the 1940s. They would have watched you in Mean Girls, and they would have said, she's great, she's really funny. That's what she does, and that's what you would have done for the next 50 years of your career.
Mm-hmm.
And because we live in this different era, you were comedy person, and then Masters of Sex, and then, all this completely different work where you get to be, if it suits you to be funny, you can be the funniest person out there. If it suits you to be in 0 Day with Robert De Niro, and it's about a global cyber attack, and it's intense, but good, riveting work, you can do that. There's nothing you can't do in this era. Whereas they would have definitely put you in a slot.
Yeah.
And you would have been punished for being really good at one thing, and they never would have seen the other thing.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely
even if
true.
that means there's iPhones and other problems.
Do you love Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos so much?
I just
That's
want
what
to
you're
say
trying to
they
say,
have,
right?
they have been on their yachts many times.
Oh, I bet you have.
You're a big yacht guy.
Big yacht guy.
Yeah, big yacht.
I know my
energy.
yachts.
You got big yacht energy.
I have
Mega yacht energy.
That's the only big energy I have. I have big yacht energy. No, I love a big yacht. I like being invited. I like being at the beck and call of a billionaire.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then when they say like, dance for us, I do a little something.
That
Yeah,
makes
you're
more
billionaire.
And then I get a
jig.
Krugerrand, a gold coin, in case anyone doesn't know what that is.
I also think that even like not in the 30s, like in recent times, they would typecast you and pigeonhole you. And now it's like it's very new to not have that happen, like in the past 20 years, maybe.
Right.
People think, oh, you can do more than one thing.
Right.
But a lot of people do find themselves like stuck in a lane, and it sucks.
I'm stuck doing one thing because that's what I can
That's
do.
not true, Conan. That's not true. I heard
But I'm saying happily. I'm happily stuck in my lane.
you're not stuck in a lane, though, because I just read that you were incredible in your Sundance movie. Okay.
Yeah,
As
you're
a male
branching
gigolo.
out. This
Yeah.
orphan thing is working for you.
Yeah, that's how I got the part.
Yeah.
I'm an orphan.
Yeah, I'm an orphan.
Why am I getting smaller and squeakier as an orphan?
No.
But Lizzy, this was a lovely conversation.
This is so surreal. I feel like we're just starting it.
No, but this was.
There should have been more jokes.
You have dysmorphia.
There should have been laughter.
Well, we're going to put laughter over all the
Oh,
parts.
that's
We're
right.
gonna- when you talk about losing your dad,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
when you talk about losing your dad, and I
Yeah.
talk about losing my parents, we're just going to pipe in laughter
Full
from the
studio
1940s.
That would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah. I love Lucy
appreciate that.
laughs.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. You've only today confirmed my feelings about you, Lizzy, which is you're one of my all-time favorite people. You are incredibly hyper, insanely talented, and you're a real person. And every time I see you, you're Lizzy Caplan, and you're very wise, and just a delight to be with you. Thank
Thanks,
you
Conan.
very much. I'm going to say it, 0 Day Netflix. If you're not watching it, you stupid.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Watch 0 Day.
Come on. Why isn't that going to be
That
the
is the
tagline?
tagline. I mean, De Niro's been saying that on everything.